Wealth is a slave of the wise man and master of the fool. Lucius Annaeus Seneca was the wealthiest man in the world 2 millennia ago, with a net worth of around 300 million dinari. And to make it in perspective, at the same time, Judas got 30 dinari, which was a month's salary at the time, to betray Jesus. So you can imagine then how astoundingly rich Seneca was. Today, Seneca is mostly known for being one of the founding fathers of Stoicism, the philosophy of practicing agency and acceptance of one's life, while having the last word. But it's important to remember that Seneca was not only robust, but he was also antifragile. Compared to the antimaterialistic nature of Stoicism that kind of looked down on wealth in general, Seneca kept his riches without being corrupt by them. Normally, massive success makes you fragile, since you have a lot more to lose than to gain. So a negative asymmetry on your part. But Seneca found a way to keep the upside of life without being harmed by the risks. So how did he do it? By mentally adjusting to being poor on a frequent basis. So earlier in his life, he survived a shipwreck and lost everything he had. And often when he was more rich than he was before, he often traveled with minimum belongings, like he was shipwrecked, to not be corrupt by all this excess comfort. He also viewed losses as donations that he simply gave away and invested thoroughly in good actions and character, like writing letters we can still read today, one of his best works, links in the description. Lastly, he made sure to oscillate between intense activity and intense philosophical withdrawal, a barbell strategy, in other words. So here are 5 key takeaways you can implement today based on what Seneca did 2 millennia ago. Number 1, mentally adjust your expectations to being poor in order to avoid the hedonic treadmill of wealth and to basically have nothing to lose. But number 2, you should also make sure to take full advantage of the opportunities you have and keep your wealth. So in other words, you should strive for everything growth, everything impact, everything money, etc. Because it's all upside and no downside. Because number 3 is that you view all losses as liberations from things you did not need anyway. So everything you get, you can happily get. And everything you lose, you can happily lose. So it's like you play a trick on fate there. Number 4, you act honorably at all times, because good actions can never be taken away from you. And same with good character. And lastly, number 5, live your life in a barbell way. So in other words, oscillate between 2 extremes: risk, security, activity, rest, etc. And also hyperfocus and spontaneity, which I talk about more in my barbell system for maximum productivity and life satisfaction. More on that in the description.